1984. No, not that 1984. The year. It's important for many reasons. The OG Macintosh computer went on sale for one thing. But more importantly, it's the year that LEGO Castle ramped up into full-on faction mode. And that is the focus of today's theme nostalgia. But first, we have to take a look back at how the theme started, before it even had sets. The first LEGO Castle was not a set, but rather a picture in a retail catalog from 1959. A white castle on a gray base with 4 towers. A year later, another castle appeared in a catalog, larger with a suggestion of a moat. A yellow castle is displayed in an ideas book from 1967 also, built at a 45-degree angle with incredible detail for that era of brick availability. This yellow build would pave the way for another. It was 1978 when the castle theme emerged alongside town and space. Set number 375 is simply titled Castle. Known now as the Yellow Castle, it was designed by Daniel Krentz and comes with 14 classic knights and 6 brick-built horses. The heraldic designs for the minifigures' shields, breastplates, and flags are not printed, but rather stickered. This set was available from 1978 until 1983, with 2 supplemental sets released the following year: Knight's Tournament and the Battle Pack foreshadowing Knight's Procession. These 3 sets, along with a couple of promotional sets, were all that existed of Classic Castle. This all changed, however, in the aforementioned 1984 expansion. Okay, so, 1984. To kick off the factions block, LEGO released Crusaders and Black Falcons. Crusaders, or Lion Crest, feature a gold and blue color scheme with a lion emblem as heraldry. Crusaders spawned 23 sets and 1 re-release of the beloved Guarded Inn. Concurrently, the unofficially titled Black Falcons, or Eagle Crests, were a faction with just 6 sets and 1 re-release. With shields displaying both yellow and blue borders, the iconic black and white eagle is present. The Falcon's most prestigious set is Black Falcon's Fortress, with minifigures for 2 guards, 2 archers, and 2 knights, and the new molded horse piece. This set was reissued in 2002. Okay, so where did the Crusaders and Black Falcons fall on the nostalgia meter? This is a scale I've implemented to measure the feels we get when looking back on old sets. They're high. I'd say both factions get an 8.5 from me. It was 1987 when a third faction, Forest Men, appeared. Their leader was known as Robin Hood. Yep. They were described as a merry band of skilled archers and were said to enjoy good food and good times. With a crest featuring a brown stag head, the Forest Men faction boasted 7 sets, with Forest Men's River Fortress as their premier set. A tower structure, raft, and 5 Forest Men minifigures are joined by a visiting Crusaders fig. The Men of the Forest saw their last sets in 1990. Let's look at the Forest Men on the nostalgia meter. Also, quite a bit of feels here. They will equal the previous factions with an 8.5 in my opinion. Constructing mostly black and gray castles, and presenting a crest featuring a wyvern with a red, blue, and yellow pattern, Black Knights debuted in 1988 with the Black Monarch's Castle. The Black Knights feuded initially with the Forest Men and occasionally with Black Falcons and Crusaders. The faction officially has 14 sets, including their namesake Black Knight's Castle and the smaller Knight's Stronghold. This faction ended in 1994. Okay, feels time. This one will be controversial. Black Knights were right in my castle prime. It's a 9, folks. Okay, the Wolf Pack. No, not that Wolf Pack. The Lego Wolf Pack, or a succinct castle sub-theme consisting of just 3 sets. Wolfpack Tower is a bridge and tower set atop a rocky outcropping with water below, and Wolfpack Renegades is a horse and cart set. Their heraldry is simply a wolf head on a black background. The Wolfpack were portrayed as an organized gang of rogues and cut-pursers, in contrast to the knights and soldiers of many other factions. It is thought that the group must have disbanded or gone into hiding, as there are very few mentions of them after 1993. Nostalgia meter rating? Wolfpack have my favorite crest. This will be another 9. So good. Around the time of the Wolfpack disappearance, saw the emergence of the Dragon Masters, a side that employed much more magic than previous groups, with their army led by a wizard named Magisto. There was a set available for his magical workshop with a fireplace, goblets, and a magical scroll among other items. Their crest was strikingly similar to the Black Knight's heraldry, although with a different color palette, leading some to believe that the Dragon Masters, or Dragon Knights as they were sometimes known, were a splinter group from the original. The Dragon Masters were the first faction to command actual dragons into battle to fight for them. Alright, let's see what the scale says here. They're starting to lose me a bit. 7.5 feels. As the name would suggest, the Royal Knights were a contingent of royalists who supported King Richard. As such, their crest was a crowned lion's head. Their debut was in 1995, and with it came the impressive Royal Knights Castle, a large double-gated fortress with a trapdoor and dungeon section. The Royal Knights would seem to be direct successors of the Crusaders, and feuded with the Dragon Masters briefly, before conflicts with 2 upcoming factions, the Dark Forest Outlaws and Fright Knights. Let's go to the meter. I liked Royal Knights, but didn't love. They're in at 6.5 nostalgies. Appearing briefly in 1996, Dark Forest was a branch of original Forest Men with more sinister intentions. Perhaps motivated by suppression of their earlier clan, this more mysterious incarnation had 2 hideouts amongst the just 3 sets released in their name. Their leader now went by Rob N. Hood, although it was ostensibly the same character. I legitimately didn't even remember that Dark Forest was a faction until I started researching this theme. For this reason, they score a 3, because now that I remember, I want those sets. 1997 brought us the last of the original groups born out of the expansion of the castle theme starting in 1984. Fright Knights, with a bat as their symbol and also leader, were a villainous organization with Basil the Bat Lord at the helm. Their base was Night Lord's Castle, a very tall multi-segmented keep with a portcullis, throne room and guarded by a black dragon. A witch named Willa was also a member of the group. Her affiliation with Basil is up for debate as they are portrayed as both aligned and sometimes also at odds. Nostalgiometer reads, that's a 2. I was not a Fright Nights guy. They had lost me at this point.
Beyond 1998, the theme continued to splinter and reboot several times. But perhaps that's a video best saved for another day. I wanted to focus on the faction storyline that ran from 84 to 98 in this one. This is episode 2 of Theme Nostalgia, a series that looks back on past LEGO themes or a portion of the theme and checks out what kind of storylines and sets were available at that time. Episode 1 is already available on my channel, and it's on Pirates. So go check it out. If you have a particular theme that you are interested in me covering, put it in the comments. And, maybe like and subscribe if you want to do those things. That'd be great. Anyway, I'm Oli from Oli Bricks. Enjoy the builds.